SMT Nation, we back. Nation, we've got commentary from the Verizon network chief, and he seems a little cool on the small cell. Maybe he's throwing a little shade at it. You know, it's kind of interesting because we got different commentary from the former network chief. And that was just earlier this year or last year, and this is kind of counter to what he was saying. Anyways, let's look at the full commentary. Let's take it all in and see if we can make some sense of this. Dano, light reading, link for the article in the description. Also in the description, you'll find ways that you can support the SMT. All right, so Joe Russo is the new network chief. All right, he is going to be leading the company in terms of the near term and the long term in a direction in which they're going to continue to embark on this 5G ultra-wideband mission. And according to him, in his quotes, he's saying they're going to be focusing on macros and small cells. All right, so what he's saying is, and this is his exact quote, right now we're kind of on a steady path of adding macros, which are the big cell towers, and small cells to densify the network where we see capacity or coverage needs. In and of itself, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's the best way to approach the network, where you can put in a small cell for a small coverage gap. It makes sense. Getting a macro built near there might be very challenging. Small cells seem to work well for Verizon. I've seen it. You guys have, seen the videos I've produced on what Verizon is doing in the Cleveland market. He went on to say, I think we have a lot of build out on the macro mods, and adding C-band. That is our primary focus for our capital dollars. I'm not sure that beyond that I see a real need to further densify, but I would say it's a watch and see. Okay, this is where things get a little hairy. He's basically saying we're going to upgrade our current cell sites to, full modernization, whether it's, like the LTE and 5G radios, the C-band specifically being added to those sites. And that's going to be a bulk of the CapEx, right? They're going to be spending about 17 to $18 billion next year on C-band upgrades. And according to what he's saying here, some additional, cell towers and small cells. Now, with respect to them possibly shifting away from small cells, that would be kind of confusing because last year they were discussing how they were going to, re-energize that effort, right? Speaking on the small cells, he said, it's a tool that we use right now. We definitely are starting to dream a little bit about what the future 5G ultra-wideband network might look like. But I think it's going to be more use case driven. That would say we have to go beyond our normal cadence of expansion. Okay, so with a small cell network of about 40,000 small cells, many of which I think, 30-odd thousand of them have millimeter wave also, he probably feels good about that footprint and that supplemental capacity layer through those network tools. So maybe they're going to peel back some of the small cell build that they had planned for 2024. Maybe them reducing CapEx by about $1 billion was part of that small cell expansion, and they've peeled it back thinking that the macro upgrades are going to be good enough, and they feel good about the power levels of C-band and, just working with the macros they have. I will tell you guys that based on his commentary about the use case driven commentary, he's basically saying that unless we have a capacity need, unless there is a severe, coverage gap that needs to be filled, they're basically rolling with what they have. And I would assume that if somehow, some way, there's a, a private business, a private network they're going to construct, they might do it through small cells. I think additionally, with 5G home internet, they could add small cells and split cells for that. I think that's kind of what he means here, and I don't, it's mixed signals. I can't lie to you guys. This definitely is a slight contrary to the commentary from the previous network chief. Again, maybe he's just putting cold water on the situation. He's trying to get people to temper their expectations. Maybe he's playing coy. He doesn't want to show his hand as the new network guy. I don't know, right? But I will tell you, they have never been shy at Verizon to build small cells. And whether it's through them building their own, managing their own, whatever, or going with Crown Castle for fiber or whatever, and that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that later. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem to make sense. And I will tell you guys, I've been seeing a small cell ramp up here in Cleveland, so that doesn't really jive. I wonder what's real. Is his commentary real, or is he playing coy? Or is the former network chief's commentary real? And this is just kind of like, I don't know, a curveball to the competition. I don't know. The companies are trying to spend less, right? So maybe it is something to do with the spending. And maybe something happened financially with the CapEx that they had to kind of pump the brakes on the small cell dedication. Anyways, we know that they're not afraid to build capacity. If they go hard with 5G home internet and they need more, they will split cells. They're not afraid to do it. So I expect that to be the case. I really, if you put me up against it and ask me what's real, I think they're playing coy. I think they are going to build and densify with small cells. It just doesn't make sense otherwise. They've never been shy to do that in their top 50 or 100 markets. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. Do you guys have any concerns? What do you think is real? You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.